All right, Barbara, so you are on your back, and if you need to have something under your head just to elevate your head slightly, feel free to put something under your head. You don't want to feel tense through the neck and the jaw. With your knees bent, your tailbone heavy on the floor, the sacrum heavy on the floor. With the degeneration, the herniation of any kind of disc issue, we do generally have you a little bit posteriorly tilted. So you have that little bit of the back flat rather than trying to maintain neutral, just because it's a comfort thing for those issues. In that imprinted position, the hip bones are a little bit higher, or a little bit lower, are a little bit lower than the pubic bone. So that pubic bone tilts up towards the ceiling, and you have a little bit of flatness through the low back. Don't feel like you have to jam the low back down, but maintaining that stability through the pelvis is what you're ultimately going to try to achieve. The first exercise is just a little knee opener. So pushing down gently with that left foot. The big toe and the pinky toe have to stay in contact with the floor. Place your fingertips again on the hip bones and the thumbs on the bottom rib. Allow your right knee to open only as much as you can maintain the stability through the pelvis. So if you do this and you feel that hip and glute come up off the floor, the left hip and glute, you know you've gone too far. So the goal is just stability, not range of motion as far as I have to go super duper wide. And then back in, and you'll use that inhale, and then exhale to draw the leg back in. What you'll find happening on that left side is the knee wants to open up to try to counterbalance. Make sure it's not doing that, and come back in. 2 more like that. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, open. And exhale. Same leg. Slide that right heel out, which is why I'm wearing socks, because I'm on the hardwood floor. You also have those socks that's good for carpet, so it just makes the sliding easier. And drag back in. The goal here, same thing. You don't want to feel those 2 points between the bottom rib and the hip change position. What wants to happen here is that back wants to arch up off the floor, which we do not want. We want the back of the ribs to stay down, and you're just opening that leg, sliding that leg out as far as you can without losing the connection through the pelvis, through the transverse abdominis. That pelvic floor is just drawing up slightly. And that inhale as you lengthen out. And the exhale to drag the leg back in, utilizing the hamstrings. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, right back in. Doing the same thing with that left leg. So make sure that right foot stays firmly planted. The left knee opens out as you breathe in. Exhale, back up. You may find that you have less range of motion on one side. Inhale, open. Exhale to come up, keeping that right cheek down as much as possible. You can also place the hands right on the belly. Once you kind of understand what's going on with the ribs, you don't have to keep holding this here, but you'll start feeling the low abdominals kick in just a little bit more. And you have 1 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. And then slide that left leg out. Inhale to reach out. And exhale to draw back in. Obviously, the goal is to try to slide out a little bit further as you progress, but without losing the connection through the torso. That's not going to happen today, probably, but eventually. Inhale, slide out. Exhale, drag it in. 2 more times. Neck and jaw still relaxed. And last one. And back in. Maintaining that imprinted spine and focusing on keeping that one leg still, your gesture leg moving, and then your other leg standing still, staying still. You do feel quite a bit of work through that whole abdominal area, as well as the glutes and the hamstrings. Not so much in the quads, hopefully, but the glutes and hamstrings were working quite hard. From there, allow yourself to just relax. Relax the hips and the pelvis. And then I'm going to have you go into your figure 4 stretch if it's comfortable from down here. It's a little bit deeper stretch. It's the same thing we did from the chair. So placing that right ankle on the left thigh. You can just stay here. You can just gently press your right knee open and create a little bit of tension with that left leg. So you drag that left heel in a little bit to get that opening through that right side. If this is okay, and if you're comfortable hugging the left thigh in, hug the left thigh in. But don't strain. Don't feel like you have to do anything, especially don't do anything that creates more pain or discomfort for you. But getting into that right glute should feel pretty good. And then you'll release that. And take that left ankle on the right thigh. Pressing that left knee open. Few breaths in and out right there. And you do have the option again of hugging the right thigh in. And what sometimes happens with this stretch when we go to grab the thigh, the leg shoots over this direction. So try to keep those hips stable still. You're pressing that left knee open gently, gently pulling the right leg in, and you're going to feel the stretch through the left glute. And then you'll release that. And then final thing that you can do from the floor, just make sure that you feel the knees are pointing towards the ceiling and the toes are going straight ahead. Modified bridges, they are not big at all. And you do have the option of rolling through the spine. You'll inhale to prepare, exhale to press the low back down, squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings, lift up a little bit, and then roll back down and release at the bottom. So as you get comfortable with this, abs are pulling and you push down with the feet. You articulate through the spine, coming up onto the shoulders, and then rolling back down through the spine and releasing at the bottom. And the variations on this, if the roll through doesn't feel good, then you can just push your feet down and gently lift everything up together as one unit. Just to what's comfortable. You can come all the way up onto the shoulders without rolling up onto the neck, and the tendency here, knees flaring open. So make sure those inner thighs are engaged, and then you'll set that tailbone back down without actually rolling through the spine. So lots of options there. And you can take that ball, if you have a ball, little squishy one, right between the knees, and that just helps you maintain those inner thighs being engaged, those feet stay down a little bit better. Obviously the knees can't flare open on this, and you can roll back down. Or you can just squeeze the ball, lift straight up, and lower back down. Take the ball out of there, hug the knees in, circle the knees around one direction, just massage out that low back, reverse the circle, slide that left leg out, hug underneath the right thigh. Continue to keep your left leg active. And then bend the left knee, slide the right leg out, and hug that left knee in. And release that. Using your legs to rock yourself up, or you can roll onto one side and help yourself up. And then we're going to go on to all fours, and if we don't have to change out camera angles, we will just keep going. From this position, you have your knees right under the hips, the hands are right under the shoulders, and you can work on just doing arms. So reaching the right arm forward, and come back down. Left arm forward, and back down. And I might have to move forward because I might run into the wall. Right leg reaches back. Yep. And come back down. And left leg reaches back and come back down. So that's the precursor to the quadruped. And it's a really good stability exercise. What's happening here, if you can get into both, if you can reach your right arm and your left leg, so think about pulling the head back as if you have a headrest behind you. Make sure you don't sink into the low back, but stay connected. Keep the abdominals pulling in. You're lifting up through that pelvic floor. You're drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And from there, reach the left leg straight back. Keep your knee facing the floor. Pretend that someone's pulling on your ankle and gently reaching that leg back behind you. If you're okay to find the balance here, right arm reaches out, left leg reaches out. So you've got that nice long working in opposition, challenging your balance and your core, and then you'll set that down and do the same thing. Right leg, left arm, the right knee faces the floor. Take a deep breath in. Think about lengthening through the right waist area, and then set that down. Inhale, reach. And exhale down. Inhale, reach. And exhale down. Let's just do one more each side. Continue to close the front of the ribs. Keep that engaged. Lengthen, lengthen. And down. Last one, reach. And down. And then just sit back. Hopefully that's okay. This position, child's pose, shell stretch, prayer pose, whatever works for you. Allow your head to hang. Take a deep breath in right here, and you'll feel that breath expand through the rib cage. As you exhale, draw the belly button back towards the spine. Create just a little more space between the belly and the thighs. And this next time, inhale. Exhale. Slowly rolling up. And you're done.